What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Unturned 3.0 survival guide, and in today's video we're going to be talking about advanced base designs, because in the last few episodes we've been talking about base designs and how to build a base and getting started and essentially how you can survive. Now the only issue though is that if you build this kind of base that you're going to see in this video, you can run into a couple problems, and we're going to talk about all those things. Now I think that two of the easiest things in game is building a base, unless you build a metal base, which takes a little bit longer. It's still easy, but it can take a little bit longer unless you have a lot of people doing it. And destroying a base, getting your base destroyed, getting it raided, it's very easy to do, and it's kind of annoying, but you know, it can happen. And so what myself and a lot of people I play with, we try to adopt a method of building a base where it is the easiest to defend. You have a 360 view around the base so you can defend people. You have to swim to the base, which gives you increased ability to try to kill somebody. But there are some problems that come along with that. So we like to build on the water because we think that's the safest style of base building. Now the only thing is that if you're building by yourself, this might not be the best thing to build because of several reasons, which I'll talk about here in a second. But if you have a team of people, you know, this might be what you want to do because you can actually probably afford to do this. However, unless you have somebody online all the time protecting the base, or you know, you got a cycle of people or whatever, chances are your base is going to be destroyed because somebody's either going to build out to it or they're just going to wreck it anyway. And so there's a couple different methods that you can do. One, you can build a walkway out and then build a base, and then you have one center walkway that can be defended. Or you can do what we do, which is build out a walkway, build a base, destroy the walkway, and then we put down ladders on the outside for people to get in. Now the only problem with that is that if you don't have somebody in the base to put down a ladder, then you can't get into your base. And the other problem is that let's say that you do that. This might be perfect for single player, but maybe not for multiplayer, especially if you're playing by yourself, because if somebody swims out to your base, gets in your base, and then destroys the ladder, you can't get into your own base without building out to it. And so there's a lot of benefits, there's a lot of advantages to building on the water, but there's also a lot of problems that you can encounter. Now, I've already loaded up here. I'm just going to spawn stuff in to make this easier for me, but basically we're going to cover how to do this. So the first thing you want to do is make a bunch of floors, and then you can make a floor and then platforms if you want, but we just like to make floors because it's just simple to do that. And then once you have your walkway that goes out a little bit, then you can start building your base. And I'll show you what we do, okay? So you can kind of get some ideas from this if you would like, but I'll show you what we do, and then you can kind of build your base from there. So now let's just say that we were going to start building our base right here, which isn't very far out because essentially somebody could build platforms out to your base to get into your base. So this isn't very far. Usually we tend to go back as far as we can, but there is a world barrier, so keep that in mind. So you might not want to build totally all the way out because then you might run into some issues. But let's say that you have your base here. Just imagine with me, you got your base, and you can see somebody up on the hill or something you can easily defend. But let's say somebody comes walking down your base. You know, they can't, first of all, they can't swim. They can't swim up and get up from here. They have to walk on your base in order to essentially get out to your base. They have to walk on the walkway. And so you can easily defend it and shoot them as they're coming down the walkway. Now another thing that you can do, I'm sharing with you all my secrets, is that you can build slightly underwater, and then I'll show you the difference here. So by building underwater, you kind of do a couple things. One, if you can see here, I can run down this whole thing. I can jump, I can prone out, I can crouch, I can do whatever. But if you build underneath the water a little bit, let me get my stamina up here, and you'll be able to see. Oh, single player reset, so that's why I'm in a different area, by the way, with the updates. I didn't build out far enough, but I didn't build underneath the water far enough. Let me try to do this again. They shouldn't be able to run, and they shouldn't be able to lie down, which is the key that you're trying to achieve with doing this. Yeah, so right here, you can see I can't run. I'm trying to run. I can't prone out. I can't crouch. I can't do anything. So this right here, building slightly lower, will allow you to achieve a thing where, let's say you build out your walkway and you're slightly underwater, they can't run up to your base. They can't prone out. They have to walk. They have no choice. And so they're easy pickings at that time. So this is a little bit of a trick if you weren't aware of that. Now, so let's go ahead and build our base here. Let's start building our base. Now, like I said, what we like to do is we like to destroy the walkways coming out, so it's just a single floating fortress. But we always have somebody online, like we have different people in different time zones, and so we can afford to do this because we can essentially make sure that somebody's always in the base to put a ladder down. And then we make it absolutely the hardest, and people will have to build out these walkways to get to our base, to be able to break into our base. So what we like to do, let's see that we've built out far back there. Once we get to a spot that we like to, you know, how far out we like to be, what we do is we actually build what we call like a moat base. And now this base that we've kind of started to use more often is essentially a combination of a base design that I used to do and Singe Waffle's base, because essentially his base design is a little bit more complex, but this is kind of like a combination of both of them to provide us with the most effective and efficient base. Now, you can see that this could take a long time, but if you have a team of people, this can be done very, very quickly. I mean, it doesn't even take you that long at all. It takes you about 30 minutes with 3 people to build what I'm about to show you. If that, actually. We probably do it faster than that. We've got it down, though. I'm the builder, and they're the you know, I'm the builder, Singe is the builder, and everybody else pretty much gathers. So what we like to do here, and I'll kind of show you, we like to build a moat around our base. And the reason why we do this, and I usually build it out one more, but I'm just doing this for purposes, for demonstration purposes. And the reason why we do this is so that they have an additional layer of security that they have to go through. Now, generally what I tend to do is I'll actually... Whoops, I must have done that wrong. 3120. What I generally do is I wall this off so you can't even get back here. And so really you only can get in from the front, because you essentially want to limit all the potential points that somebody could get into your base. You don't want people just being able to get in from any direction. You want to make it so it's very difficult. They have one area that they can get in, and by doing that, it can, you know, you can provide yourself the ability to, you know, guard it a little bit more effectively and easily. Okay, so let me just go ahead. I don't need these anymore, so let me drop these real fast. And let me get some nades here, and I can wreck these walkways coming out here so I can show you how to do this effectively. I should probably... This is going to take a while. I don't think I have anything buff, so this shouldn't take very long. But I also don't think that throwing them right now is going to do much. You got to kind of throw them on the side sometimes for it to work. Grenades are a little weird right now, in my opinion. But normally we would do this with like a sledgehammer or something. We wouldn't do this with nades, even though I have used nades to defend the base in the past, because we have people building out constantly. Okay, so once we have that, let me just get rid of the rest of these. Once we have this walkway destroyed, I'll kind of show you what we do here. Why did I have that? Must have accidentally given myself that. Let me see, what is a sledgehammer? That is a golf club. That's not the right thing. That's a sledgehammer. So at this point, what I'll do is I will go through and put pillars all along the side here, and maybe I'll just do that to kind of show you, to give you the example, so you can kind of see what it looks like for demonstration purposes. I build a wall up. Now, what this will allow us to do is, one, have some protection from the hillside or whatever in front of you, and then also they will have to go through an additional layer of protection to get to us. And so we'll have one area throughout here where there will be a ladder. Sorry, I'm mincing my words here, if that's even the right thing to say. One area where there'll be a ladder. Maybe it's in the back or something back here. But what we do is we wall off the front to give us protection, and then to also make it a little bit more difficult on them if they're trying to raid us, because then they might have to build up to break through the wall or whatever. But generally it's just for protection purposes. Like I said, this base design is very effective, but it's not going to work for everybody, because you essentially have to be online or have somebody on who can defend your base, because if they get in and break the ladder, you're pretty much screwed at that point. But if you have, people who can get on all the time and, essentially have a bed in the base or something that they can use to defend the base, and that's perfect. So what we do at this point, let me get the ladder ID here so you guys can see. We have several ladders. Generally, it's let me think, like 4 ladders or something like that. And what we do is, like, let's say it's in the back here, and you have to swim all the way back here to get to the only ladder to get into the base. This is what I'm talking about in terms of like how the base security works, because you have a 360 view right here, and you can see all around, and they have to swim to your base, and so it's very difficult, or they have to build. And so if you just have this one ladder here, you can easily defend this one ladder. Now then, what we do from there is, normally these, just imagine this with me, okay? These normally wouldn't be here. We would get rid of these as well. So essentially what happens is we have 2 areas that are completely separated, surrounded by water, and set apart from one another. Now, I think some of the people I play with might get mad at me for sharing this information, but I mean, it's been out there. I have shown it in streams. I have talked about it. I've shown building and stuff like that. So it shouldn't be that big of a concern now that this is something that you can do. I should probably use a blowtorch. It'll be quicker. Destroy it. There we go. And so what we do at this point is, pretty much everything is down to a layer of security. We try to make sure that there's a layer of security in every situation so that people can't get in easily, because we want to make it as hard as we possibly can. And I probably am repeating myself, and I probably don't need to make this video as in-depth as I am, but it's just for the demonstration purposes. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll get some more pillars. Let's see. Let's just do 20 again. I'm just going to probably wind up dropping all of these, but whatever. We'll do one single door, and so you want to put that ladder somewhere where you can have a doorway that people can get in. So this whole area out here is all walled off, except for the one area where there's a ladder. And this whole area in here is walled off, except for one area where there's a ladder. And you don't really need walls in the inner part, because that doesn't really matter. Like, you don't need pillars lining here and walls lining here. That doesn't really matter that much. If you want to have like walls to add a layer of security so they have to go through, and maybe you make this too wide or something, you could always do that. But I haven't, so far I haven't really noticed that to be that big of a added bonus, except for when we were playing on our server. We did get raided a lot, and I did have I had like 2 thick walls, and that actually kept people out for a long time, because they essentially had to go through multiple layers of security to even get through us, and by that time I would be on, and I would notice them, and I would shoot them. And so that's a bonus. So we'd have this whole thing walled off, and then what we do from here is we would build a center tower that goes up, and by doing that, we allow, maybe I'll make a couple levels here so you can see. We have so we have a door right here, and then we'd have a center tower that goes up, and there would be another door right here, maybe like a vault door or something, and some metal doors. We're just trying to make it as hard for people as possible. And then by doing this center tower, they have to climb a ladder to get to you, okay? And so now you're adding in a single tower that they have to climb up, which will be easy to kill them if they're coming up a ladder. I mean, they're sitting ducks at that point. They have to climb while you can look down at them and shoot them very, very easily. And so this design is very effective at killing people, like getting people killed, because they are a sitting duck from pretty much every single angle. But this definitely does take a lot of resources, and it takes a lot of time, but it is very effective. And so, I want to make sure I state again that this is an advanced base design that might not be best for a solo player. You can still definitely build a base on the water, which is your best bet, and build one walkway coming out to it, but this is probably a little bit too much for one person to do, even though I would try to do this design, but I'd have a walkway pretty much no matter what, because it's so effective. So then we just wall off the towers. Like, you don't maybe have to wall off the back one, because unless you want to, because if you're building out in the water, they're not going to really be able to get anywhere to shoot you, and so it doesn't matter that much. But you want to, wall off a couple different sections. So let's just give ourselves some doorways. So we'd have our doorway like this. We'd have our doorway right there, and then we'd have a door here and a door here. Now this, I usually try to upgrade to metal, and so now you can see you can be up on the top, shoot down at them, easy pickings. And then once you're up here, I mean, look at this, okay? You have a 360 base view, pretty much. You can see everywhere. Now the only thing is that if you wanted to, here's the biggest issue: you have to make this tower very tall, and then have some like areas that come off, because as you can see, I can't see in front of this wall right here. It's a blind spot, and so you'd have to build taller to be able to see over that, and you probably would have to build out a ways. So let's just see, for example, let's just say you wanted to have this be like as high as you want to build it. In order to have this work, you would have to build this out to about like right here, and then you'd probably want to have a hole. And let me see, where is the hole at? 319. Because what a hole can do is a hole can allow you to sit right here and look down. And you can see I'm not even far enough to where I can see. I still have a blind spot. Now the problem with it, you got to build it taller than this, because somebody could easily just take a couple ladders and build straight up there, and it would be very easy to do. And so you got to build up. You have to build up a lot higher than this. So you can see this base design, very advanced. It's great for a team, but you have to spend a lot of time gathering resources. This is a very effective design. Now, you could probably alter this a little bit, because more than likely not everybody's going to be able to have like people on all the time, and so you're probably going to have a walkway, which makes it easier for them to raid you. But maybe you're getting off for the night and you destroy your walkway, and so you give yourself a little bit of protection during the night or whatever. I don't know, but you'd log out in the base essentially. And so this has been a guide for an advanced base design. Let me know if you guys have anything like this, if you have any adjustments that you make that maybe you see in my design and you're like, this could be better if you did this. I would love to hear it, primarily so that I can use it and kill you all on my server. No, but seriously, if you have something great to share with other people, that would be a very effective thing to do. Please share that below so that people can have a little bit easier time. Another thing, you don't want to build this right here, because look, you got this hill right here. Plus, this is the military base, so there's a spawn like right there and like down over there. And so this is a very stupid spot to build this. You definitely would want to build this far away, probably on like, let me see, Anzac to Belfast. You'd probably want to build it like behind the airport, or possibly like off of an island, like Corns Island or Owen's Island, because at that point, you don't have any high areas around, and the only thing from here is this tower. But if you build off way in the back like we usually do, that's too far for anybody to snipe you. You can't snipe from there, and you can't be sniped in your base. And so, just a couple things to keep in mind, but that's a very quick look at an advanced base design. You want to improve it, make it metal, make it taller so you can see easier, have a team. All those things can help you, but there's definitely things you have to watch out for when making an advanced base design like that. So, other than that, I mean, the other most effective thing you could probably do is have a very tiny base and try to hide your loot. Maybe you hide it in a tree or something. I don't know. But, maybe you don't even have a base. I don't know, it's up to you. But my point is that you can do different things that can help you survive, whether it be an advanced base design or no base at all. There's various things that you can do that could help you, or a tree house or something like that. I don't know. But there's a lot of different things that you could do. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, this guide helpful. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you. Good luck out there surviving. Hopefully you guys have an easy time. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.